¿A dónde está papi? 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 ¿A dónde está papi?
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Wednesday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Wednesday. Welcome, everybody. We've got plenty of stuff to go through today. Hey, how's it going, Mayhem Hippie? All right. I has a cat. Really? Well, that is cause for celebration. Congratulations, Dustin. How's it going? Alia with the 11 biddies. Jeez, kicking off the stream hot. Thank you so much. Is this like a cat that you just got, or? That's neat. The New York Attorney General presser was nice. Nice. We'll talk about that a little bit, just a little bit. Spread it forward. How's it going? Is that effing Carlos? No. It's effing Sam Cedar. What an effing nightmare. There it is. What's up, man? How's it going? Trump must be fuming. Yeah, we'll go over it. Well, the relevant parts anyways. Please keep in mind that this is a civil case. I'm more interested in the criminal investigations that are going on. All right, so I guess we should start with some like easygoing news. We'll start with like some Twitch stuff. As you folks probably know, there's been like a lot of uproar about the whole gambling on Twitch situation, so I think we should briefly address that. I never catch you because I'm usually off after the mornings. Great to drop by for now. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I know that with the schedule change because of my job, it's been a little bit of a ride. Yeah, but these are all separate things, Elio. All of these are separate cases. All right, so I guess we should set the stage. Just like to get like a brief summary of what's going on here. So, top Twitch streamers like Pokimane Miskiff threatened to strike after a 200,000 gambling scam. On Saturday, a Twitch streamer named, better known as Sliker, admitted that he had scammed fans and other content creators out of at least 200,000 to fund his Counter-Strike Global Offensive gambling addiction. Yeah, this is well, yeah, we'll just get to it. Cat is done with Snuggie, so now I can type again. When he wakes up, he needs snuggles. That is so adorable. That is so adorable. In response, big-name streamers such as Pokimane, Miskiff, and Devin Nash have been coordinating a boycott of Twitch during the week of Christmas to protest the platform's lax policies on gambling streams. CSGO contains weapon skins that have real money value, which, by the way, is a symptom, or I guess you should say domino effect of, well, capitalism. Yes, capitalism is basically fudging up video games and creating gambling addictions where otherwise it wouldn't exist. Should Twitch be involved in any gambling at all? No. No. I don't think it's a good idea, and I don't think that it's the platform for that, right? I don't think video games should also be perpetuating this for the sake of money, for the sake of just eking out more and more and more money, sometimes to the tune of thousands. Oh yeah, Dustin. It gets better. Because the rare skins can be worth thousands of dollars, third-party sites use them as, quote, casino chips for betting on the outcome of a CSGO matches. As of 2016, which has been a while from now, so this has been going on for years. The skin betting market is an estimate worth of $7 billion. Sliker received money from fans and other, like, and obviously, this guy had choices, and he chose to do things. He made conscious decisions here, but at the same time, you can't ignore the fact that, like, Twitch A allows this, and B, there's even such a thing as, like, betting with literal, like, skins for games. It's possible, Ali. I'm not sure. It turns out the OG skin trading Leatherface was ahead of his time. Ha.
Please clap.
Sliker received money from other fans and other streamers under the false pretense that his bank account was locked and he needed to borrow money to prevent his credit score from taking a hit. Yeah, like, this is like addiction, like, behavior. Like, yeah, this is classic behavior for an addict. Man, I hope this person gets help, because it gets rough. I can only imagine. He was locked and needed to borrow money to prevent his credit score from taking a hit. Hassan Piker was among those who gave Sliker cash after he reached out and asked for help, falsely saying that among other financial woes and complications, his payment from Twitch hadn't come through for that month, which is kind of weird unless you don't make less than $100, right? Then obviously it won't. Sliker later said, "I thought he was in need, and I legit thought he needed money, but in Saturday's video, Sliker admitted that he was telling people he simply was hard for cash had been a ruse. In a tearful confession video, Sliker told his viewers that he'd started gambling with CSGO skins, which, again, this shouldn't even be a thing. To begin with. No, it's Sliker who asked Hassan for money. I'm pretty sure Hassan does not need money. I think that's, like, a very kind of accepted fact. I hope he pays everyone back. He claims in this very same article that he will. Well, we'll see. But he claims in this article that he will. Sliker told his viewers that he'd started gambling with CSGO skins, but eventually moved on to betting with real money. He initially used money from his first job and all of his Twitch income, but it wasn't enough for him. Which, yeah, that's an addiction. Yeah, that's an addiction. He started borrowing money from other streamers, lying to them about why he needed the money and what the funds would be used for. In the video, he promised he would eventually pay all his creditors back. "I deserve punishment, whatever happens." He said, "I don't know what to say to the people I borrowed from. This is the epitome of gambling, and I want to say, don't touch it. 100%. Like, if you have that predisposition, yeah, it gets dark real quick. And this dude, yeah, I hope he gets help." Popular streamers Pokimane, Mizkif, and Devinash have been discussing the responsibility of Twitch itself to take action against the gambling streams, which some feel are manipulative to viewers, which they are, and perhaps particularly harmful to young viewers, which it is. What? Like, I think that this would be, like, objectively a correct statement, right? Because you have, like, these large influential people, and you see them, especially young people, you see them win money, and you see them betting, and you want to be like them, or you want to win bets like them. So, yeah. The saying goes, when to walk away from the gambler song. Oh, yeah, but no, this person can't because he's addicted. In a joint stream, they mentioned that some streamers made money by promoting gambling, money from promoting gambling, and that gambling was one of Twitch's most popular category, of course. Mizkif attributing the idea to his acquaintance, the politics streamer Destiny, suggested a 10 to 20 content creator with large followings should send a joint statement to Twitch. Either the platform should take a stance against gambling streams and sponsorships, or they would go on strike during the week of Christmas. Kotaku reached out to Twitch, but did not receive a comment in time for publication. While some streamers await an answer, others are already mobilizing. Top graders like XQC and Ludwig said that they're going to pay back some of the people who were scammed, provided they have proof that their money was taken. Some of the stories are terrible. Terrible, XQC tweeted. There's no way we're going to sit here and watch and listen. I'm done tweeting about the optics of this. I don't give an F about what people think about it. Here's the tweet. We are aware about this Sliker situation and the victims who were scammed out of their hard-earned money. Heartbreaking. Me and Ludwig will be trying our best to get the money back to those people. This is about This is about the victims, only them. This will take time. It's 300K. Jesus Christ. I'm missing action as a collective. I'm missing the fun and the tragedy. Oh yeah, no, this one is a little bit more. This is online stuff, but nonetheless, I think it's important to point out. Wait, so the idea to take action as a collective was Destiny. Switch is really melting down, not the collective-minded leftists. Ha! And yeah, bring up a very good point. Spread it forward. It's amazing Twitch has not been sued about gambling. Yeah. Well, we'll get to that in a second. It's amazing Twitch hasn't been sued over quite a few things. Yeah. Among them, gambling. Enabling gambling. Of course, not all streamers engaged in this conversation share the point of view that gambling is an issue on the platform. Trainwrecks, of course, is himself a slot streamer, tweeted that the real problem is the people blaming slots, blackjack, and roulette rather than the individual. What? This is actually like a ridiculous clown take. Because while I understand that there is obviously some, obviously the individual has a part to play, right? Like, these people made conscious decisions to do this. Yes, and we can, condemn them for that, and we can ask them to seek help, especially those who are addicted. But the problem here, also, that we can't ignore, is the environment that made this possible too, right? The fun is Trump and tragedy is his mate Putin. Oh, yeah, I saw that Putin has ordered partial mobilization, and I think that this is obviously an escalation. Obviously, he feels like he needs to do this. I think that it's very sensitive. We're teetering on very sensitive times for geopolitics. That moment when you start your stream on a day when everything is happening. True. Yeah. How do I even manage to cover everything? I mean, we have to pick and choose. The point is, like, Putin's partial mobilization should be concerning for a number of reasons, and obviously the situation is very very tense, I guess. Not tense, fragile. There we go. Maybe that's not the word. The point is, like, things can things can go south very, very quickly. It's like walking on eggshells. Like, just peeking from abroad, it's like walking on eggshells. It's very unsettling. That's the word. There we go. I found it, all right? I found it. The word is unsettling. Okay. Yes, Trainwrecks with Clown Logic. He argued that sports betting is normalized, but conceded that the practice of streamers conducting giveaways using codes that require viewers to engage in gambling is predatory. Yeah, because it is. It's like, I wouldn't want sports betting to be normalized either. What? Okay, whatever. And I wouldn't want it on Twitch either. as is highlighting gambling wins while hiding the losses on stream. Yeah, not only is that predatory, but that's like super dishonest too, right? However, he pulls in a significant amount of money with his own lucrative gambling streams and sponsorships. So yeah, you're part of the problem, my dude. Alio with another 10 biddies. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Twofer. It's a 1-2. Bam. Trainwrecks had previously lent Sliker $100,000. Jesus. Meanwhile, content creators, some content creators seeing the mobilization from influential streamers around gambling are disappointed that some of Twitch's biggest names have been much more silent on the issue. Where was this energy during hate raids? Because it wasn't directed at them and it didn't affect them. That's usually the reasoning, okay? A content creator, an activist, where is it for constant racism and homophobia and transphobia and misogyny on the platform? Yeah, because it doesn't affect these people. So you're not going to hear as much, unfortunately, when it comes to this stuff. I mean, yeah, it sucks. The thing is, it's normally bad, but done with a focus on young viewers, it's extremely bad. Yeah, because it's like it's a gaming website, right? Twitch is the streaming site for generally speaking. It's an overwhelming majority of content on this platform. Generally speaking, it's video games, and it tends to attract a younger audience, right? Not good. Indeed, content creators seem to be much quicker to attribute this misfortune to systemic problems at this time. Gambling is a platform problem, not a people problem. Yeah, I agree. Create the environment for unaccountable streamers to thrive and they will appear. Yep, true. The problem is if you use it's a gaming website, then what do you do about the hot tub streams? Honestly, it should be its own thing. Unfortunately, and I'm just saying that like the content that exists on this website, generally speaking, is mostly gaming. Not that it should be, but I'm saying that that's what it is right now. All of a sudden, when Miz takes a stance like, yo, I'm willing to risk my bag for this, and then all of a sudden Hassan perks his ears up like, wait, my bag is in jeopardy? Oh no. Oof. Yeah. Listen, if you have an Otterpool stream, that should be front and center in the platform, okay? Otters are cute. If your only content is to stream otters in a pool, I'm all about that. Okay, so now we got the kind of lore behind this, right? Well, fast forward like basically a day, or I don't know. I don't even know if it lasted 24 hours since the news cycle switched over. I don't think it was even 24 hours. Marine Mammal Rescue is the most soothing channel on Twitch. Nice. That's content right there, folks. Never mind this clown on the internet talking about news and politics. That is content. So now we have, what, not even 24 hours later, Twitch bans major gambling sites after streamers threaten strike. It's been a rough 24 hours for people broadcasting in purple. Well, not me, because I don't do gambling streams. After a scandal that broke a Twitch streamer has been scamming viewers and peers alike out of an alleged $200,000 to fund a Counter-Strike global offensive addiction, top personalities have started to exert pressure on the live streaming company to do something about the larger underlying problem. Gambling, many have been arguing for a while now, has become a scourge on the platform as a number of rich creators promoted potentially harmful content to young impressionable fans. Yeah, mega problem. While Twitch appeared to just let it happen for a very long time, according to the previous article, This has been years and years, since 2016. The Amazon owned platform announced a massive change regarding the gambling streams today and will have big ramifications for creators and viewers alike. According to a new update issued on social media, Twitch will no longer allow streaming of gambling sites that include slots, roulette, or dice games that aren't licensed in the US or other jurisdictions that provide sufficient consumer protection. Yeah, that's about as much as they're going to do for probably legal purposes. The list includes, these things, though Twitch may expand it as the company continues to evaluate this situation. Twitch, however, will continue to allow sports betting, gambling, fantasy sports, and poker. Also gambling. What? Okay, whatever. These appear to be high-level changes that will take effect starting October 18th, and Twitch is geared to share more specifics soon. While we don't yet have all the information regarding gambling on the platform, it's likely that Twitch is sharing these key details early due to the commotion that's been kicked up in late September. Earlier this week, streamers like Pokimane suggested that they would team up with some other popular personalities on the platform and strike during a high-volume time like Christmas unless Twitch issues a statement on the crisis or decree new gambling rules. While the new rules don't ban gambling outright, they do take aim at some of the biggest websites that are either favored by streamers or sponsor well-known streamers, and the ramifications will be huge. Not only is gambling one of the most popular categories of content, with the biggest faces on the platform such as XQC partaking, some creators like Trainwrecks have stated they make up to $1 million a month from gambling companies they feature on stream. Gross. All right, let's see.
Okay, I'm gonna add Train to the call. Yeah, I mean, he wants to be in. Are you okay with that or not?
Who are you adding?
Train, are you okay with that?
Okay, sure, yeah.
Okay.
Run Train on me. My main points that I want to make is that, one, these are unregulated gambling sites. Two, people say that your audience is older, but like, I mean, you're gonna have a lot of kids watching you on Twitch, okay?
You can make that case an argument and have a point for any content creator.
I'm going to ask you a question, okay? A very simple one. Have you sat through a 20-hour stream of mine? Just one of them.
No.
See, like, this is the problem. So, like, my biggest, like...
You're misrepresenting gambling as a concept. Even though it's already bad, you're making it worse just for bag, which is...
What? I don't need to sit through a 20-hour train wreck, stream to be like, wow, this shouldn't be happening on this platform. Okay, whatever. A question I don't expect a serious answer to is entering a low-wage fantasy football team really gambling since you have to put in so much work through the season? I don't know. I don't know the real answer to that question because I don't know how even fantasy football works. The image in my head has always been like it's kind of a gambly-ish kind of deal. But I could be wrong. I have no idea how that even works. You should probably check out the ESVN. What is it? Emma Vigeland Sports Network to get an idea of how that works. I can't imagine sitting through 20 hours of Squad W. Oh, yeah. No, I can't do it. No, I don't need to spend 20 hours. Yes, the Emma Sports Vigeland Network. There we go. I don't need to spend 20 hours in Trainwreck stream to make the determination that gambling shouldn't be a thing like on the Twitch platform. Much less things like gambling, like skin gambling for like basically just aesthetic things on a video game. I mean, literally, it's nothing. It's a skin that goes on a video, that goes on a character, I guess, on a item like a gun on a video game. I mean, FIFA Ultimate Team is about gambling, is absolutely about gambling, and is allowed to. Jesus. That would be like gambling plus underpaid workers. It's a capitalism double hitter. Nice. But yeah, the underlying problem here is that like capitalism ruins video games by making $1,000 skins, and now we have somebody addicted to gambling using these skins as like tokens, or I guess chips, gambling chips. That's really what it is here. Yeah, his argument that fundamentally it's like, oh, well, you haven't seen my stream, so you don't know what it is. Like, nah, I don't need to.
Legitimately pretty evil.
How much
Just
money do you get paid every month from them?
Well, right now I'm down.
How much do they pay you as a flat fee every month?
I'll tell you, $1 million a month, and I'm down 2.8 million this month.
You also
Oh no! Listen, truly a tragedy has occurred on this platform when a multi-millionaire a month does not get 2-point-something million, but instead gets 1-point-something million a month. Oh no, the tragedy, folks, the tragedy. Does Amazon or Twitch have a gambling license? I'm going to wager that they don't. Right, but Amazon isn't in Massachusetts, is it? Does losing money make it better to promote gambling? I think like if you show that you sometimes you just take an L here and there, it probably serves as a way of making it more authentic. Maybe.
also get a commission from the people that use your bonus code, right?
I get amount wagered, but I don't push the code at all, and I tell
It's
people
on your screen the whole time, right?
it is on my screen, but I tell people not to gamble at all every hour.
What? Listen, I'm gonna put a picture of matches, and I'm gonna put a picture of a lighter, and I'm gonna put a picture of a candle. But I'm gonna tell you this entire time to not think about fire. Okay? Listen. You can't think about fire, okay? There's gonna be multiple images of things that make fire. Not fire itself, but things that make fire. And I'm gonna constantly talk about fire, but I'm gonna also tell you, do not start fires. Okay? That's a rule, it's illegal. Do not start fires. What? Okay. Sure, buddy. I'm pretty sure gambling has rules and hence the gaming commissions. I don't know. You might be right. I don't know the legalese behind what's okay and what's not. I don't know. You might be right. It might just flat out be not good. it just flat out might not be legal 100%. I don't know how this works.
Or every win, I tell them not to gamble. I tell them,
but come on.
What do you mean,
That's
come on?
performative. That's performative.
Yeah. Every win, I tell people not to gamble. Listen, stop thinking about, listen, chat, okay? This entire stream, I don't want you to think about the emote cat jam, okay? I don't want to see it in chat. Nobody better even utter the letter cat jam, the letter C for cat jam, okay? Are you thinking about it? Stop thinking about it, okay? It's not good. Stop thinking about cat jam. This is such a clown-like level of logic. Yeah, that's another analogy right there. Boom. That's another analogy. Imagine like having images and videos and you having like content of making porn, and then like also consistently showing that, and then also saying like, but don't do this, right? Like, oh, don't do this. All right, listen, I'm telling you not to do this, right? It's the same thing, exactly the analogy that I was saying. Like, you put like pictures of like a match, a lighter, and a torch, and then you keep talking about fire, but you keep saying that you shouldn't make fire. Like, okay, dude, whatever. It's a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
You know, there's a reason they're paying you $1 million a month. You could say, hey, fucking don't gamble. You're gambling. They're paying you $1 million a month flat.
Yeah, and like you have the promo code, and then they like you show your viewers that you win. I mean, come on.
Gamble. You're getting a commission from all the people using your code. It's not. You can't just dance around it like, hey guys, wink wink, don't gamble. That's just. I understand.
No, wait. Let me respond. You are virtue signaling and high roading at that point.
What?
I am not.
What does that even mean? What does that even mean?
Pushing my code in hopes to make money from my code. I am not telling them. And
why be sponsored at all?
Wait, do you know that when I won that million, I put $3.5 million in to get that million? No, you don't. And let me tell you what. If you did know it, you would still exclude it.
Wait, so it's a huge like scam. Thank you, Trainwrecks. If they're paying him $1 million a month, that means he's driving at least $2 million in losers' money to the gambling site for his channel. Yeah, probably. Or else why would they pay? Right? This is capitalism, dude. Yeah, don't eat fresh. But hey, my sponsor is So, chat, listen. I guess this would be the opportunity to start talking about this month's sponsor, HelloFresh. No, I'm kidding. No, not this month. They pay you with fan losses. Yep, that's right. Basically, I mean, it would make sense, right? It would make sense. Like he just admitted it's just one giant scam. Jesus.
Because it doesn't fit your narrative to sell the show that you need to be successful.
I don't think the fact that you're losing money, you're saying I'm in it for the love of the game, which is great, which is nice and all, but you're still getting paid $1 million a month. And how much are you making on your code, by the way?
In 3 months, I made $250K. In 3 months, that's nothing.
What? Bro. Imagine being this like divorced from reality. Bro, $250,000 in 3 months, bro. That's nothing, dude. What are you talking about?
That's a crazy amount. Jesus fucking.
Yeah.
I literally.
Yeah, so an extra $1 million a year. Yeah.
Thousands a lot of money, by the way.
How can you tell me that I'm making it look sustainable when you just admitted you haven't watched a single stream? Can you tell me that as an...
That has absolutely nothing to do with this. Again, you don't need to watch a single minute of Train's streams to understand what's going on here. Okay? Yeah, and worst of all, yeah, from essentially, really, where it's coming from is your fans like losing, obviously, right? Because where else is this money coming from? It's from people that, well, lose at gambling. And how did they get there? Well, they use this promo code that you're shilling for them. 250K is nothing. Pff, get wrecked. Yeah, I know. 250K is nothing compared to how much he's being made off his viewers. Yes, that's true. Very true. But yeah, sheesh.
Well, you tell me, how can you pay? Most people can't sustain losing millions of dollars a month. That doesn't seem like a sustainable hobby to me.
Now you want to shame me
because it's Because it's a scam.
I can. Gambling is degenerate.
Okay.
You understand?
This
you
argument
get some help,
is
my
dumb.
friend.
Is that
Wait,
if somebody wants to
don't
lose all their
gamble.
money, I mean, they can if
Don't
they have the funds
gamble
for it.
to
I don't know.
win. You don't gamble to make money. And if you watched one of my streams, H3,
You do.
yeah, because I'm fucking addicted and I'm a fucking idiot. But it's not sustainable.
What? Oh man, this guy. This guy just keeps digging his own grave here. Not good. Not good at all. It's likely 10% of how much his fans have lost. Sheesh. I would feel gross. I would feel gross if I was Trainwrecks and I was like these people participating in this. I don't know. That it just couldn't be. Specifically with regards to Trainwrecks, I believe he does like more standard gambling, like with slots and whatnot, like online slots. I think. That's his thing. Yes, slots. Okay, good. I'm correct. Yeah, I couldn't do it. It just wouldn't fit. It just wouldn't fit. I think like the most I've done is take sponsorships, and those sponsorships, as I sit here playing a slot game, Jesus, and the sponsorship that I take is definitely not gambling. It's actually a or at least the sponsorships that I like to take are from HelloFresh because I actually use their service. In fact, I'm getting more HelloFresh stuff this week. But yeah, I couldn't do that. He bets on chicken fights too? Is that still legal, or is it like a state law, or is it like a state by state thing? That should be illegal across the board. Like that should be illegal. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. JK. All right. Hold on. Whoa. Okay, we got it. That seems to be an argument presented that poker takes some skill. Yeah, I guess. And yes, chicken fights are still very real. Yeah, they should be completely outlawed if they aren't already. Yeah, the chicken fights shouldn't exist. But there's also license you don't have to say, that's license you don't say you will lose weight with HelloFresh. Nah, you just get like a promo code, that's it. That's it. And I use it myself, so.
I've lost the last 8
You're
minutes.
deluded, bro. You know everything you're doing is wrong, and you don't want to give up
That's
because
not
you're good.
okay. Yeah, I'm gonna be the referee. He throws real facts and concrete evidence at you, and you throw curveballs and nonchalance at him, and it upsets him.
Evidence. He says,
In the beginning before Matt, you were talking to you, I had this inkling feeling you were doing this for a show. Now that I'm sitting here talking to you and telling you this stuff.
Now Trainwreck suspects that Ethan, the host of the H3H3 podcast, is indeed acting as a host, playing for a show. Wow. Phenomenal stuff. Phenomenal stuff. What, the music that's going on right now, or the music in the video? Oh, in the dramatic video? Yeah, I don't know. I think this is from the perspective of Trainwrecks.
Your responses are these. I know for a fact it's a show. Like, this is insane to me.
bro, my honest human-to-human advice is that I really think that you need help with your gambling addiction.
True.
Okay.
Like, it just sounds like in a really real way that you are in a really bad spot.
Oh, it's from
It's
a
hurting
video?
you.
From an
if
Inception
and
movie?
it sounds
Huh.
like you do have a lot of money invested from crypto, which is amazing. And I don't think anyone wants you to lose your ass doing this, because gambling, you're gonna lose everything. And
So-
the people watching are going to lose everything too if they're getting involved.
What is this?
But they are. That's the thing, right? Like, how else is this whole business operation being kept up, right? It's being kept up because people are losing.
Dr. Phil? Well, guys,
Yeah,
come
we-
on, then.
Anyways. Yeah. That's not counting how much might be made from viewers gambling while the sharing of referral codes blast on stream. Something they can no longer do, or any other sponsorship a Twitch streamer might receive through a more conventional means on the platform. While these streamers have stressed in the past that they've told viewers to not gamble, which we just saw Trainwreck's attempt to, slither away. The scam train is still rolling. Yep. While these streamers have stressed in the past that they've told viewers not to gamble themselves, it was obvious that the business was booming. Right. In its announcement, Twitch reminded people that it had already gambling rules in place, but that some people circumvent those rules and expose our community to potential harm. So if it's violating TOS, why are they there? Okay. While the new rules aren't live yet, people who push for this change are celebrating. There was, after all, plenty of skepticism over whether or not Twitch would do anything further about gambling, with some high visible streamer creators like Hassan Abi expressing the activity simply generated too much revenue for the platform to prohibit it outright. We did it, y'all. Who got Pokemon said who got over 300,000 people expressing support against gambling streams in a single tweet, in a single day. Tweeted public pressure, tweets, and raising awareness. It all matters. Okay, now we got this, and here is so far what we know to be the conclusion of this gambling arc. Okay. The actual statement from Twitch. Pokimane based leftist. Wait, how am I glorifying it? I don't know what that even means. I have not yet, in any circumstance, have A, engaged in gaslighting, and B, glorified in any way, shape, or form gambling. My position, I think, is very clear. It shouldn't be here. It shouldn't be on Twitch. Gambling content on Twitch has been a big topic of discussion in the community, and sometimes I think it's predatory, and I think it just has no place here. Okay, it's just not the place. In the community, and something we've been actively reviewing since our last policy update in this area. Today, we want to update you in our plans. While we prohibit sharing links or referral codes to all sites, including slots, roulettes, or dice, we've seen some people circumvent those rules and expose our community to potential harm. So, we'll be making a policy update on October 18th to prohibit streaming of gambling sites that include slots, roulettes, dice, or games that aren't licensed either in the US or other jurisdictions that provide sufficient consumer protection. These sites will include Stake.com, Rollbit, DualBits, and Roobet. However, we may identify others as we move forward. We will continue to allow websites that focus on sports betting, fantasy, sports, and poker. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe sports betting also should be off the table. And I think that there needs to also be, like, just kind of as an offshoot to the discussion, because I think it's relevant, even if it's like a little bit of a tangent. There needs to be more regulations on video game companies for microtransactions. Period. Because, like, that's kind of what kicked this whole thing off, right? Slots are wild. They're just machines designed to psychologically manipulate you into putting money in them. Literally, that's the only thing they are. True. We'll share specifics on the updates to our gambling policy soon, including the full policy language, to make sure that everyone is clear on our new rules before they take effect on October 18th. In other words, we need to put out a PR statement before we get freaking roasted. And since a bunch of our big creators decided that if nothing gets done, or if there's no action on our part, they're gonna strike. We'll see what the end rules look like. Right. Gambling is a symptom of materialism and the idea of needing things. Yes, which is inherently kind of perpetuated by, capitalism. Twitch will close accounts for DMCA, nudity, drinking, and guns, but gambling's kind of okay. Well, hopefully they change that. I mean, like, engaging in this type of behavior and perpetuating this kind of behavior, and on top of that, like, the cherry on top is that, like, obviously Twitch has a younger demographic, like, or it tends to have a young demographic when it comes to their viewership. That's a big problem. That's a huge problem. Gambling and greed go hand in hand. Part of it, but that's exacerbated by, like, the circumstances that we live in. And, well, how we're conditioned that, well, this is good. This is a good thing. Greed is a good thing here. Under capitalism, greed is a very good thing. Justin freaking, how's it going? Some medications help compulsive behaviors, gambling being one. I don't know if there's, like, medication for gambling. Maybe there is. You might be right. You might be 100% correct. I wouldn't know. But if you do have a gambling addiction, please seek professional help. Without a doubt. It's not a good thing. There are people who feast on blood and gore and train wrecks and car crashes. Any public can favor the wrongdoers. Wait. I don't know what any of this means. It's not just any publicity. It's the wrong publicity that can glorify bad things. Yeah, my greediness saves lives. True! Self-control is a virtue. People need to focus and determination. People need focus and determination to get through the trash part of life. Okay. I mean, sure, there are some things that you can do as a person. But also keep in mind, like, the environment that you're in. Many advertisers say bad publicity is good publicity. Yes, but I'm not an advertiser. I'm not an advertiser or marketer. I'm literally breaking down this story and being very explicit as to where the problems are here. My analysis and interpretation and words have been very, very straightforward, I think. Yeah, but I don't know what that even means. Like, how is this pertaining to this? This has nothing to do with publicity. Like, there's a difference between, like, reporting and breaking down and then, like, showing step by step why these things are bad and how these things are pernicious and where it comes from is not the same. Like by that virtue or by that logic, then I guess we can't talk about the far right and what they're up to, right? This has nothing to do with car crashes or blood or gore. I have no idea what you're talking about. So by your logic, then I shouldn't talk about like the far right? Because, you know, bad publicity is good publicity for them? So then how are we supposed to address these problems? Yeah, not to mention, all of this collective public pressure has actually resulted in a positive direction. Furthermore, it certainly is good for them. Not really. Not really when I can make, you know, conservative arguments look like clown logic. Not really. I have in no way, shape, or form ever even came close to portraying or helping the far right in my analysis in the way I do the news and commentary. It's just not a thing that happens. To which I say, in no way, shape, or form has this analysis of this story glorified or gave good publicity or would give the impression that this is that gambling in this website is a good thing. What? This is ridiculous. Anyways. That's the end result of where we are right now with this. Public pressure does work, folks. I have no idea what that has to do with anything of what I'm talking about. I don't even know what that saying means. It's, you know, it has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. Anyways, now that we got that story out of the way, just to kind of ease our way, coast our way through this stream. That's the, oh, what? That's the equivalent of drinking lib tears? Boo. Weak. Should this channel be put on the screen? Don't try this at home. Yeah, well, what do you mean? No, do try this at home. What? Yes. Have a lefty perspective of analysis when it comes to politics. Yes, do try this at home, kids. What? Teamsters, members and national leaders march on Amazon HQ, escalating the union campaign. Nice. Teamsters leaders, including Sean O'Brien, general president of the union, brought their campaign to organize Amazon warehouse and logistic workers to the company's doorstep in Seattle this afternoon. A large crowd marched past the Amazon Sphere and the company headquarter towers, filling the streets of North Downtown Seattle and delivering loud chants in protest of Amazon and its founder, Jeff Bezos.
Amazon! Organize! Amazon! Organize! Amazon! Organize!
Oh, corporate greed has got to go!
Hey, hey, ho, ho! Corporate greed has got to go!
V5-O-Bum! Bezos is a fucking bum!
V5-O-Bum! Bezos is a fucking bum!
Who are we?
Teamsters!
Who are we?
Teamsters!
Whose streets?
Our street!
Whose street?
Our
actually, I don't know, Dustin. That's a good question. The reason why Twitch is likely distancing itself from the gambling thing is that it's very obviously a subject that's legally behind closed doors. It's supposed to be exclusive for adults, and even in some places it isn't. Even in some places it isn't that either, and just illegally entirely. Amazon will likely not want any of the possible ramifications of that linkage. Oh, sorry, hold on. Does not want any of the possible ramifications of that linkage because it has a bad reputation these days. It would be like them advertising cigarettes. True. I'm not sure. That's a good question. Are they just marching in front of empty buildings? Not sure. Amazon should be afraid. The Teamsters are here standing shoulder to shoulder with so many communities demanding change. The Teamsters accuse Amazon of mistreating warehouse and logistic workers and allege that the company has illegally thwarted efforts to unionize its fulfillment centers in some parts of the country. True. Yeah. The Teamsters aren't going away. Wherever Amazon abuses workers will be there. Amazon will not bust unions and get away with it. Amazons will not churn and burn American workers and get away with it. This corrupt corporate giant must answer to the Teamsters now, and we're ready for the fight. Amazon, which has repeatedly disputed these claims, issued a statement on the Teamsters rally and union campaign in response to an inquiry from the Greek Wire. We respect the right of individuals to peacefully protest, said Brad Glasser. As we always said, it's our employees' choice whether or not to join a union. Yeah, but you don't really mean that, though. It always has been. Not really. As a company, we don't think unions are the best answer. Wait. Hold on. I'm sorry. This is like explicitly saying that you obviously have a bias and it's in your interest to crush unions. Amazing. As a company, we don't think unions are the best answer. I wonder why. For our workforce, and our focus remains on working directly with our team to continue making Amazon a great place to work. Press X to doubt. Amazon CEO Andy Jassy hinted at the Code conference earlier this month that the company would continue to appeal to the landmark vote to approve a union at its Staten Island warehouse, saying that there's a lot of very disturbing irregularities. For some reason, whatever. In that vote, the campaign was led by independent Amazon labor union. The march by the Teamsters on Amazon HQ coincided with the Teamsters Women Conference taking place in Seattle this week. The Teamsters earlier this month formed a new division focusing on unionizing Amazon, led by Randy Corrigan of the Teamsters Local 1932 in San Bernardino, California. There are 1.2 million Teamsters members, including 340,000 UPS employees. The Teamsters and National Association of Letter Carriers, which represents U.S. Postal Service workers, have also expressed interest in attempting to organize Amazon delivery drivers who work for independent third-party firms. Nice. Based. It's always nice to see, like, labor, flexing its muscle. Unions equal higher costs for companies? Nope. High costs are passed on to the consumer. Doesn't have to be. Consumers get angry. Sales drop. Layoff happens. Circle of the business world. Nope. That's literally not how it happens. Sorry, you're just wrong. Unions don't automatically equal higher costs for companies. Good stuff. I hope there's more union efforts across this country. All right, let's check this one out. This one's a good meme. Unions equal better pay, better benefits. All of these cost money. Profits must be kept in capitalism. Okay, but you're just wrong about unions equal automatically higher costs. You're just wrong.
I'm increasingly of the belief that I personally will not be voting. Of the belief that I personally will not be voting this midterm election. I'm doing a lot of soul searching on that, and that's a decision I have to come to myself. But it's increasingly a decision that some of my friends and colleagues have told me, and I'm concerned about it. And I'm mostly concerned about it because I share that thing right now. I share that thought. I share that interest. My vote hasn't been earned.
True.
My vote hasn't been
Go
earned.
off, King.
That's on a personal level.
Go off, King. You're right.
On a move level, our vote's not really been courted as a demographic.
What?
And
As it, what does that mean?
if we live in a republic,
Whoa, wait.
my vote does.
Whoa. Slow down there. What do you mean as a demographic? What? That's right. If companies couldn't sustain unionization, then why are there Starbucks and McDonald's and Amazon all across Europe? Yep.
Need to be courted. That's like full stop. My vote cannot be assumed. That is not living in a republic. And just think about that. If your vote was assumed for consecutive elections, that is by definition disenfranchisement.
Yeah, sure, buddy. True.
So,
True.
Why would I that's not a republic.
That's right. Yeah, you know what? Go off, King. You're right. Every conservative and every Republican should be following this guy. Should be following this guy's footstep. Okay, his logic is completely flawless, and I think this applies to all Republicans and conservatives. 100%. Yeah, not just reiterating that all elections are frauded and no point of voting line. Yep. That's basically what he's saying in a weird roundabout way. But you know what? Go off, King. Don't vote. You know what? You're right. The Republicans haven't earned your vote, so just stay home. This is Ali Alexander, who is a far-right activist and a prominent election denier who coordinated or who helped coordinate some of the folks who ended up being in the January 6th insurrection. Nice. Now that's the power of unionization there, Dustin. Gamercraft, how's it going? I'm hanging in there. Apparently, Trump is angry with DeSantis because he feels like DeSantis is stealing his limelight. Dogs fighting over pooped covered bone. Nice. Maple Leaf Dragon, how's it going? Trump DeSantis 2024. That's very interesting. How's Trump able to run if he, you know... Wait, hold on. Whoa, wait. Real quick. For the clown in chat. Real quick to the clown in chat. Who won the 2020 election? Wrong. For local elected leaders of the shared cell block. Probably a bot. Maybe so. It doesn't matter. He knew what the follow-up question to that would have been. Anyways, if he's still watching, don't vote. Because, you know, you don't want a weak GOP win. So it might be better if the conservative just simply stop voting. Because, you know, their vote hasn't been earned. So I think that, like, people like this guy should just not vote. You know, it just makes sense. It just makes sense. Hey, when Trump famously loves poorly educated, they finally have something to be proud of. True. True.
Please clap.
Oh, he was on the Beckosphere too. He's a live one. Nice! Well, unfortunately, he didn't give us much room to play with today. So, I mean, if you would have answered the way he wanted to answer, we might have had a little bit of fun, but nah. Boring. One of my favorite quotes here, shit's weak. Shit's weak. True. I don't want to accidentally vote for rhinos that suffer personal moral defeat. True. Just, yeah, exactly. Stay home. All right, so let's get on over with this one. Trump has failed to show that he declassified documents seized from Mar-a-Lago. Trump's requested special master. It's getting on his nerves too. It's delicious. Nice. All right, hold on, folks. Give me about 2 minutes, or less than that, actually. Give me a second. I need to go grab something, and I will be right back. Meanwhile, if you enjoy the content, hit the follow button, alright? Some good memes, and you get free emotes. BRB. Listen, it's gonna be okay, alright? All right. Ooh. The special master thing has been one of the few high points lately, except from the brilliant media person that they have doing the White House's Twitter. To be honest, I'm a bit behind on this DOJ stuff. Yeah, the short answer is that they're actually taking the post seriously, and that puts Trump in a complicated legal position because he can't do anything to lock down their story because all of it is BS. Yep. Okay. Trump has failed to show he declassified documents seized from Mar-a-Lago. Attorneys for Trump have repeatedly failed to show that the former president declassified government records that were taken from his Florida home as part of a criminal investigation, the Department of Justice told a federal appeals court. So he lied. The Justice Department made that argument late Tuesday as it sought to resume its review of the records marked classified that were seized from Trump's Palm Beach resort home, Mar-a-Lago, in the FBI search last month. The DOJ's filing in the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit swung back at Trump's lawyers, who earlier Tuesday asked the court to preserve a ruling from a lower federal judge that blocked the government from examining the seized documents. Trump again implies that he could have declassified the records before leaving office. As before, however, the plaintiff conspicuously fails to represent much to show that he actually took that step. Right, so he didn't. There has been numerous corroborations that seem to suggest that this dude's lying. The DOJ lawyers added that Trump is now resisting a request by a court-appointed special master for him to provide evidence that he declassified the records that were seized, which is what Maple Leaf Dragon was saying. Sorry, Quasi-Peck was saying. He doesn't want to show the receipts because there are none. In any event, plaintiff's effort to raise questions about classification status is a red herring. Even if plaintiff could show that the declassified records at issue, that he declassified the records at issue, there would still be no justification for restricting the government's use of evidence at the center of an ongoing criminal investigation. Right, so the classification status is irrelevant, which I believe I've said multiple times. It doesn't matter. The U.S. District Judge Eileen Cannon has authorized the appointment of the special master, an independent third party who would review the thousands of records to identify personal items and information that could be protected by various legal privileges. As part of that ruling, Cannon temporarily stopped the DOJ from reviewing or using the seized material as part of its criminal investigation. This is only a stall tactic, folks. This is only going to get him so far. That's the reality of it. This is only going to get him so far, and the walls are continuing to get a little bit snug as this goes on. The DOJ appealed, asking the 11th Circuit to lift that part of Cannon's order, barring it from using the government records bearing classification markings and requiring the government to disclose those records to the special master. Lawyers for Trump and the DOJ appeared in Brooklyn, New York on Tuesday afternoon for a conference with the special master, the U.S. District Judge Raymond Dearie. He was picked for the role by Trump and appointed by Cannon, who herself has been appointed by Trump. Nice. Nice. Good stuff. Totally, not with a conflict of interest. If the documents were declassified properly, the folders would say so on the file covers. Yep. I'm surprised that not a section at Trump's rallies, attorneys for Trump. That's hilarious. But in a Tuesday's court conference, Dearie expressed skepticism towards Trump's lawyers about which, if any, of the seized Mar-a-Lago records had been declassified. The DOJ has presented prima facie evidence that the documents with classified markings are, in fact, classified. Unless Trump's lawyers could provide evidence to dispute that stance, as far as I'm concerned, that's the end of it. Nice. The FBI raided Mar-a-Lago on August 8th, seeking material showing the violations of law against obstruction of justice and the removal of official records, as well as the Espionage Act. The federal agency's more than 100 documents with classified markings in the raid, the DOJ later revealed. Court documents also revealed that the FBI found 4 dozen empty folders marked classified during the raid. There are 11,000 documents at issue, Dearie said on Tuesday. Trump and his allies have argued in interviews and on social media that he declassified all the government records that were retrieved from Mar-a-Lago, but the ex-president's lawyers have not echoed that claim in court. Right, because where it actually matters, crickets. Crickets, because it's bullshit. Because it's bullshit. It's bullshit and he knows it. On Tuesday, they instead told the appeals court that the DOJ has not proven that the documents are classified and asserted that a president has absolute authority to declassify any information. Sure. In a footnote, Trump lawyers added the fact that documents contain classification markings does not necessarily negate privileged claims. They point to the fact that according to the probable cause affidavit used to obtain the Mar-a-Lago search warrant, some documents with classified markings also include Trump's handwritten notes. Those notes could certainly contain privileged information. In the appearance before the special master on Tuesday afternoon, Trump attorney James Trusty said we should not be in a position to have to disclose declaration and witness statements about classification issue. He replied, "My view is that you can't have your cake and eat it." Ha! That's a good meme. Except that Deary's pissing Trump off something fierce now. He's actually asking relevant questions and is scheduling an expedited process to complete the task. This makes me think about a guy on an old-timey steam train just furiously shoveling coal into the burner to try to keep the engine, try to keep the train going. Yep. This is why the DOJ agreed to him. Damn. Oof. Walls are looking a little bit thin there. A little bit snug. Duke Energy is one of the top leakers of a gas that is 225,000 times more polluting than carbon dioxide. Nice. Cool. Four thin metal cylinders containing the world's most potent greenhouse gas stand lashed to the base of a Duke Energy substation on a quiet country road. The tanks are made to hold sulfur hexafluoride, an electrical insulator that was once used to fill race car tires, tennis balls, and even Nike Air Max shoes. A single pound of SF6 heats the planet as much as 25,000 pounds of CO2 and remains in the atmosphere for 3,200 years. According to the UN IPCC, the SF6 is one of several long-lived synthetic fluorine containing chemicals that are released by heavy industry, chemical manufacturers, semiconductor makers, and electric utilities, according to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. The EPA, which does not regulate emissions of any of these potent greenhouse gases, noted that once they are released, they are essentially permanent additions to the atmosphere. Nice. In 2020, Duke Energy, which provides electricity in 6 states, leaked nearly 11 metric tons of SF6 into the atmosphere from its electric substations in North and South Carolina alone, more than any other utility in the nation. According to the mandatory reports the company files with the EPA each year, reviewed by Inside Climate News, the emissions are equal to annual greenhouse gas emissions of more than 59,000 automobiles. Jesus. Jeff Brooks, a spokesperson for Duke Energy based a half hour south of here in Charlotte, said a possible reason the company's emissions were higher than all the others in 2020 may be a reflection of how often Duke Energy inspects equipment and refills. No. Bullshit. Duke Energy needs to remove sauerkraut burritos from the lunch menu to reduce outgassing.
Please clap.
For example, Duke Energy only refilled leaked gas on an individual piece of equipment every 5 years, while the other companies refilled leaked gas every 2 years, Duke would report 5 years worth of emissions for that piece of equipment for the year it was refilled, while other companies would only report 2. I don't buy it. Sorry. Under such a scenario, Duke Energy would likely to have years of low emission punctuated by a single year of high emissions. However, this is not the case. SF6 emissions from Duke Energy's North and South Carolina electric facilities have been the highest of any electric power company in the country for at least 6 of the last 7 years. Yeah, so dude really trying to pull a fast one. Nice meme. While other utilities have participated for decades in a voluntary program with the EPA to reduce SF6 emissions next to nothing, Duke Energy has not. Duke Energy's leak rate in North and South Carolina, where it reports combined emissions from subsidiaries Duke Energy Carolinas and Duke Energy Progress as a single entity, was 5.2% in 2020, more than 5 times higher than the average leak rate of utilities that participated in the EPA's voluntary emissions reduction program. Yeah, if you squint real hard, we're actually the best. Yeah, numbers don't lie, but I can make them say what I want them to say, and right now, I want them to say that I look good. Based on emissions data, Duke Energy reported to the EPA, the two utilities emitted 119 tons of SF6 in the last decade alone, the greenhouse gas equivalent of more than 500,000 automobiles over a 1-year period. Jesus. Brooks said the company is currently replacing older equipment across all 6 states that it serves as part of a grid strengthening and resilience initiative. The initiative will now replace the older 1970-era circuit breakers that use SF6 and are more leak-prone with newer, more leak-resistant equipment that still uses SF6. Brooks said Duke Energy is also targeting its most leaky equipment for faster replacement. Brooks said he didn't know why Duke Energy, the largest electric power corporation in the U.S. based on revenue, wasn't part of the EPA industry partnership, but said his company was opening to evaluating it. Yeah, Corp will speak for listen. We don't know. I don't want to talk about it. Let's move on. The leading users and emitters of sulfur hexafluoride are electric utilities that use the gas as an insulator to prevent electric equipment from arcing or sending an electric current jumping through the air, and in high voltage circuit breakers to quickly interrupt electric current. The gas is housed in pressurized tanks at utility substations, and a small amount is often emitted either through equipment leaks or improper handling during servicing or disposal of the gas. Electric utilities often use the portable SF6 cylinders to refill or top up leaking electric equipment, according to the EPA. Duke Energy has confirmed that the cylinders at its substation in the Davidson held SF6, but would not say why they were at the substation or whether they were full or empty. We sometimes stage cylinders at our sites for upcoming equipment commission or maintenance. Now, the 88 utilities that are currently members of the EPA emission reduction program represent nearly half of the U.S. electric grid, are eyeing ways to eliminate SF6 emissions entirely. Unless the rate at which utilities leak SF6 decreases, U.S. emissions will likely grow along with the electric grid. Recent studies suggest that the electric grid will have to increase its transmission capacity 2 to 5 times its current level by mid-century if the U.S. is to meet its net zero emission goals. And just as Duke Energy lags its peers in the electric power industry in reducing its emissions of SF6, the U.S. lags other countries. Europe and Japan have adopted SF6 emission reduction measures to the greatest extent possible. A 2013 EPA report concluded while the U.S. has significant potential for reductions. Jesus. In 2009, the EPA determined that SF6 threatened the public health and welfare of the current and future generations in part of a sweeping endangerment finding on the greenhouse gas. This was known since 2009. Yeah. "13 years later, the agency continues to rely on voluntary measures for SF6 emission reductions." Sally Rand, a former EPA official who led the agency's voluntary partnership with the industry that helped reduce emissions in the 1990s and early 2000s, and other former EPA officials say it's time to re-engage the industry and redouble efforts to eliminate the remaining fluorinated gas emissions. They abandoned the partnerships early, said Stephen Anderson, director of the Researcher Institute of Governance and Sustainable Development and a former EPA official who pioneered the agency's industry partnership. It was a terrible mistake. The sad part is if we could stabilize the power grid with battery packs, the substations wouldn't need to use anti-arcing measures as often because overall power throughput would be reduced. Yep. Well, at the very least, we know that we have like updated technology. We don't have to do this the way we do it now. In the early 1990s, SF6 was widely used as the air in race car tires, tennis balls, and Nike Air shoes. Refrigeration and air conditioning companies were eyeing similar fluorine-based chemicals as an environmentally friendly alternative to CFCs, chlorinated chemicals that were destroying the atmospheric ozone. The synthetic fluorine compounds were odorless, colorless, non-toxic, non-flammable, and incredibly durable. They didn't harm the ozone layer. And in the case of SF6, its large molecular size meant that it couldn't easily leak, keeping a shoe, ball, or car tire inflated for far longer than ambient air. The strong bonds of fluorine formed with carbon and other atoms meant the chemicals were both incredibly inert, meaning that they would not react with other chemicals, and highly resistant to degradation. The chemistry led to long-lasting refrigerants like Freon, as well as non-stick and resistant coatings like Teflon and Scotchgard. Tom Sueda, a spokesperson for the Chemours company, said that one Teflon-branded product, Teflon Ecolite, does not contain the fluorine-carbonate chemistry of PFAS. Then, in 1993, researchers with NOAA published a study in Science showing just how durable these compounds were. They live forever. Yeah, the forever chemicals, I guess. Said lead author Ravi Shankara, who called them immortal molecules, now a professor of chemistry and atmospheric science at Colorado State University. Ravi Shankara said that he was concerned about the chemicals' growing use at the time and what unintended impacts they might have on the environment. He warned that if chemicals in use are found to cause harm, you just can't take it away. Jesus. Ravi Shankara immediately stopped using the fluorinated chemicals in his lab. When a representative from Nike who heard about his study called to ask about the chemical safety, he urged them to do the same. I said that this is a horrible thing to do. Nike eventually phased out the use of SF6 in 2006, more than a decade later. Nike notes on its website that it was aware of the problem in the 90s, but that it took years of innovation to transition off the sulfur hexafluoride. What? Listen, we knew that we were actively engaging in like behaviors that were causing damage to the environment. But listen, we just couldn't do it. Innovation, remember, which capitalism is supposed to be a bastion of innovation. We just couldn't do it. It just took us 10 years. Sorry. The largely unregulated class of synthetic fluorine-containing chemicals became known as the immortals because of how long they remain in the atmosphere. The human-made compounds, which also include tetrafluoromethane (CF4) and hexafluoroethane (C2F6), are some of the most potent and longest-lasting greenhouse gases on the planet. Tetrafluoromethane, which is a byproduct of aluminum manufacturing, is the longest-lived of all. It has an atmospheric lifetime of 50,000 years. Jesus. The chemicals share the same fluorine-based chemistry as per the PFAS substances, the toxic forever chemicals linked to cancer that are used in everything from non-stick coating on pots, pans, fast food packaging, water-repellent clothing, and cosmetics. Ranjit Sahu, an independent environmental consultant and engineer, said the chemicals had a few decades of great use, and then the after effects started to be felt. First, we had ozone depletion, then PFAS contamination, which is still a thing. Now climate change. Well, all this is culmination, all from the same carbon-fluorine chemistry. Yeah, honestly, I have no sympathy. Not really. global emissions of these long-lived F gases in 2018 equaled a climate impact of 264 million tons of CO2, based on an Inside Climate News assessment of the European Union's emission database for global atmospheric research. Yeah, TLDR. This is horrifying, and the fact of the matter is, well, it's just further evidence that we're the ones who are driving this catastrophe. B, corporations need to be held to account, and we're not doing enough. Nowhere near. 25,000 times more than CO2. Unfreaking believable. On Truth Social, Reddit, many MAGA folks are lamenting how much money they have lost. Oh well, 340,000. Oh well. I mean, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say to that? New York sues Donald Trump Company, and family members over the widespread fraud claims, seeks at least $250 million in penalties. New York Attorney General Letitia James on Wednesday sued the former President Trump, the Trump Organization, and 3 of his adult children and others for allegedly widespread fraud involving years worth of false financial statements related to the company's business. Wow, con man is engaging in cons, and here are all the chickens coming home to roost. The 220-page civil lawsuit filed in the Manhattan Supreme Court seeks at least $250 million in damages. It also seeks to permanently bar Donald Trump Jr., Eric Trump, and Ivanka Trump from serving as an officer of a company in New York, and permanently prohibit the Trump company's name in the suit of doing business in the New York state. James said she had asked federal prosecutors in Manhattan and the IRS to investigate Trump for possible federal crimes. She said that evidence obtained during her 3-year civil probe of Trump's indicated possible crimes of bank fraud and making false statements to financial institutions. Letitia James said Trump massively overstated the value of his assets in statements to banks, insurance companies, which is a no-no, and the IRS to obtain more favorable loan and insurance terms for his company as well as to lower its tax obligations. Trump falsely inflated his net worth by billions of dollars. James said at the news conference where she announced she'll seek to bar Trump and his company from acquiring any New York real estate for 5 years, and then bar them from applying for loans from banks chartered in the state for the same period of time. For too long, powerful and wealthy people in this country have operated as if the rules do not apply to them. True. Donald Trump stands out among the most egregious examples of this misconduct. True. With the help of his children and senior executives of the Trump Organization, Trump falsely inflated his net worth by billions of dollars to unjustly enrich himself and cheat the system. True. The thing that sucks is that instead of just taking the money away from fascists to putting headed to invest it correctly, it's funneling to even worse actors and these putting heads never learn. True. Such is the way it goes. I want to know how Trump's kids got busted, but Jared was left out of being named. Did he rat them all out? No, probably wasn't had nothing to do with it, maybe, in terms of the Trump Organization. Maybe he's separate. The suit alleges that the number of grossly inflated asset values is staggering, affecting most if not all the real estate holdings in any given year. All told, Mr. Trump, the Trump Organization, and the other defendants, as part of a repeated pattern and common scheme, derived more than 200 false and misleading valuations of assets, including the 11 statements covering 2011 to 2021. The suit said that Trump's personal finance statements for the period of 2011 to 2021 were fraudulent and misleading in both their composition and presentation. James said that Trump falsely claimed that his apartment in Manhattan was more than triple its actual size as part of the alleged fraud. And the suit says Trump valued his Mar-a-Lago property club in Palm Beach, Florida, on the false premise that it sat on unrestricted property and could be developed for residential use, even though he allegedly knew that the asset was subjective to a slew of tight restrictions. Mar-a-Lago generated less than $25 million in annual revenue. It should have been valued at $75 million, but it was valued at $739 million. Jeez. The suit says that despite the claims to the contrary by the Trump Organization to third parties, no professionals outside the company were retained to prepare statements of Trump's financial condition. Those statements include claims about the value of various real estate assets that were used to obtain loan and insurance coverage. I mean, like, this was kind of like a thing years ago. This is not new. This is not new. Last week, Trump used PAC money to pay lawyers for special master about the FBI. Yeah, not surprised. Con man is gonna con. The fleecing continues, folks. To the extent Trump and the Trump Organization received any advice from outside professionals that had any bearing on how to approach valuing assets, they routinely ignored or contradicted such advice. James pointed to a Manhattan property listed in the lawsuit, 40 Wall Street, as an example of that. She said that the Trump Organization and Trump received appraisals from a bank calculating the value of that property at $200 million as of August 1st of 2010 and $220 million as of November 1st of 2012. But in Trump's 2011 Statement of Financial Condition, 40 Wall Street was listed as having a value of $524 million. Wow. That value then increased to $527 million in Trump's 2012 statement and $530 in the 2013 statement, or more than twice the value calculated by the, quote, professionals. He probably won't see the inside of a jail cell. Maybe not. Who knows? Who knows? None of this is, like, this piece right here, this New York thing, this is a civil thing. I don't think that... I don't think jail's on the table here. This is just civil. In addition to the Trumps, the defendants in the suit include Alan Weisselberg, who acted for years as a chief financial officer of the Trump Organization. Both Weisselberg and the Trump Organization were criminally charged last year by the Manhattan District Attorney Office for an alleged scheme to avoid paying taxes on portions of the compensation given to the company executives, among them Weisselberg. I mean, I wonder if this guy also kind of like gave information, because like this guy was like the CFO. Other defendants in the suit include Weisselberg's lieutenant Jeffrey McConney, as well as several Trump companies, among them ones that own properties in Manhattan, Westchester County, New York, Washington, D.C., and Chicago. I am aware they're handing over their evidence to DOJ and IRS. I watched this live earlier. Ooh, nice. Really? Well, who knows? Who knows? Meaning, who knows if we'll see to what extent will we see accountability here? The 7-count suit alleges persistent and repeated fraud, falsifying business records, conspiracy to falsifying business records, issuing false financial statements, conspiracy to falsify false financial statements, insurance fraud, and conspiracy to commit insurance fraud. Jesus. If all the legal issues don't find their mark, it's going to be rough because of what it indicates for our political future. I'm trying not to get my hopes up on any of them too much, though. Just understanding the interaction of power and justice in the U.S. Oh, yeah. Like, the fact that, like, we're kind of just accepting the fact that there is a possibility that even though as more evidence, continues to pop up, if this guy just kind of goes unscathed, it's a verdict on our legal system, right? I mean, it just means that if you're rich and powerful, laws just simply don't apply to you. We know that there's like an understanding of that, but just to see it right in our faces, I think is a little different. These are all crimes. If they allow him to walk away without any jail time, it will show the masses even further wealth gap in this country. Oh yeah. Clearly, if you're rich and powerful and you've got connections, then laws don't apply to you. Clearly. Even if you're the president of the United States, laws just simply don't apply to you. The 7-count, so a spokesman for the Manhattan U.S. Attorney's Office declined to comment on James' criminal referral about Trump to that office. Oh, okay, here we are. Yeah, I think that's what you were saying. Trump for years has blasted James for investigating his businesses, saying that the Democratic Attorney General was motivated by political animus against the Republican former president. Sure, buddy. Another witch hunt. Wait, by what? Wait, how's this racist? How's this racist? She isn't targeting Trump based on, like, his race, dude. She's targeting him because he's a sketchy person. And he has been known to do sketchy business dealings for years now. And it's catching up to him. That's it. Nothing to do with his race. Yep, and I think with the rapidity with which the messaging on the right shifted over to the demonization of law enforcement really hints at how mercurial their stated political philosophies are. True. That's not good enough for me. I want him prosecuted by the same laws I would be in this country. Just because he's some famous buffoon does not make it okay. True. Exactly. No one's above the law. James is targeting all white people now, apparently. True. Yep. This is exactly what it means. Exactly correct. Yes. Clearly. Another witch hunt by a racist attorney general, Letitia James. Trump wrote on his social media platform, Truth Social, Trump is white and James is black. Thank you, CNBC. Thank you. I never thought this case would be brought until I saw her really bad poll numbers. What? Referring to James's re-election race. She is a fraud who campaigned on Get Trump Get Trump platform, despite the fact that the city is one of the most crime and murder disasters of the world, folks. Wow. Of the world. Amazing. Amazing. Under her watch, Trump's lawyer, Alina Habba, said in a statement that today's filing is neither focused on the fact nor the law. Rather, it's solely focused on advancing the Attorney General's political agenda. Well, proved in court. It's abundantly clear. Yeah, like, nothing these people say in any type of press conference, in any type of platform like social media, nothing of what they say means anything. It's what they're willing to do under oath. It's what they're willing to testify to or answer questions in certain ways under oath. That's what matters. And that's the only thing that people should be paying attention to, right? Because, like, Trump could say, like, anything, literally anything on social media, on his platform. Trump could go on press conferences and say literally whatever he wants. But when push comes to shove, where it really matters, it's a whole different story. As I just proved in the other article that we went over. Yeah, it's opposite decade. That's right. We are. It's abundantly clear that Attorney General's office has exceeded its statutory authority by prying into transactions where absolutely no wrongdoing has taken place. Press X to doubt chat. Known con man? Entire career of, like, con after con after con? Yeah, I'm gonna press X to doubt. We are confident that our judicial system will not stand for this unchecked abuse of authority, and we look forward to defending our client against each and every one of Attorney General's meritless claims. Well, testify under oath. All right. James's office has interviewed more than 65 witnesses and reviewed millions of documents as part of the investigation. Manhattan's District Attorney Office has been conducting a criminal investigation of Trump and his company that mirrors in many ways the allegations made by James in her lawsuit. But the DA's office has not lodged any criminal charges to date, and since the beginning of this year has appeared unlikely to do so. After the Attorney General's conference, DA Alvin Bragg said in a statement, "Our criminal investigation concerning former President Trump, the Trump Organization, and its leadership is active and ongoing." Jesus. I think that if these people are serious, I hope they get all their ducks in a row. Because all this time, all these resources, and just to be like, well, you don't know. I mean, come on. Right after the raid of Mar-a-Lago, that was evident because all the media arms are essentially dangling shiny keys in front of their audiences with all whataboutisms. Yep. Yep. On one hand, the oath bullshit has got to go. Just because you swear in the Bible, your word does not mean your word does not have more weight. True. True. On the other hand, lying in court needs to get punished strongly. Yeah, I mean, like you've got like perjury, and whatnot. And this is the response. It's a bit hard to see, so we'll see if we can just kind of blow it up there. There we go. And here's the response. Attorney General Letitia Peekaboo James. What? What is this nickname, Peekaboo? What does that even mean? A total crime-fighting disaster in New York is spending all of her time fighting for very powerful and well-represented banks and insurance companies who were fully paid, made a lot of money, and never had a complaint about me. What? What are you talking about? The problem here isn't that whether or not they complained. The problem here is that whether or not you are lying to these financial institutions in an effort to, do fraud, basically. Instead of fighting murder and violent crime, which is killing New York State, she is a failed AG whose lack of talent in the fight against crime is causing record numbers of people and companies to flee New York. Bye-bye. Okay. Oh, man. This person is not well. Bye-bye. All right. I imagine a mashup of all Trump's two socialties to make my head explode. There's no value. It's just someone who's big mad about losing an election, rambling on. Let's take a look at the impact, the economic impact, should we continue to move in the path that we're in. Climate change could wipe out 108 billion from U.S. property market, and that's its property market. Okay, never mind like any other domino effects that climate change will have on the economy. 108 billion alone will be due to that. As sea level rise will flood huge swaths of the country and submerge billions of dollars worth of land. Sea level rise will flood huge swaths of the country and submerge billions of dollars worth of land, according to a new report. An analysis from Climate Central, a nonprofit research group, put a price tag on just how much all that land is worth and how much local governments stand to lose when it goes underwater. The report found that nearly 650,000 privately owned parcels of land over more than 4 million acres will fall below tide lines within the next 30 years. Which, by the way, will still be within my lifetime, and I suspect within a lot of your lifetimes as well. The analysis indicates that sea level rise could reduce the value of that private land by more than 108 billion. Yeah, it tends. Well, yeah, no shit. If your land is underwater, yeah, that tends to reduce the value of said of said land by more than 108 billion. The Aquaman. Just think about the Aquaman meme. Okay, that's what's going on here. By the end of the century. Because all land below tide line is by law state-owned, the encroachment of the tide could essentially vaporize huge amount of private taxable wealth. That in turn will decrease property tax revenue substantially in coastal areas, which experts caution could ultimately bankrupt local governments. Right, just start selling buildings to Aquaman. True. For millennia, tide lines haven't really budged, nor has the notion that any land underwater is public, which is an idea that goes way back to the Roman times, said Peter Byrne, the director of Georgetown Environmental Law and Policy Program. The tidelands, the sea, they're open to the public because they're navigable. They're inherently public. But as the planet heats, the old tidelines are climbing uphill. The study found that an area the size of the state of New Jersey that is now above water will be submerged at high tide in 2050. Again, well within my lifetime, and I suspect well within most of yours. Most of you folks' lifetimes as well. Sea level rise is ultimately going to take land away from people. Said Don Bain, a senior advisor with Climate Central, who wrote the report. That's something we haven't come to grips with. Yeah, and I've said this like 1,000 times. Throughout the history of this channel, I've made this comment. Like, once people realize the severity of the situation, with, obviously, at the time I lived in South Florida, it's going to cause a huge problem. People are going to panic, and by the time they realize what's happening, it's already too late. The good news is it's possible to wall off New Jersey and New York. The bad news is Florida's doomed. So now it matters that their money is at stake, not the planet or the people or animals. True, but I'm pulling at whatever it is. I'm pulling at whatever the strings that I can here. That's supposed to be bad news. It's appealing to their greedy self-interest in the hopes that they will realize the severity of the problem here. Yeah. It's an attempt to appeal to the greedy self-interest. I was watching a news report where an area was getting devastated economically because they didn't have the water to sustain their cattle, and the thing that really hits me about it is how gradual edge of the loss of land use that climate change is going to force, and we already can't adjust to it. I'm sorry. I see. Yeah, that's a great point, Quasi-Peck. The problem here is the rate at which all of this is happening, and the fact that we're the ones who are at fault here. Humans are the ones at fault here, and we continue to push on full steam ahead into this. Come on, I've never been to Disneyland. Listen, you're not missing anything, okay? It's okay. It's not the happiest place on earth. No matter what anybody tells you, Disneyland is not the happiest place on earth, okay? You're not missing anything. I know, I just shattered I just hit some people in the childhood. But I've been to Disney World. I've been to Disney World several times. Not as a kid, of course, because we didn't have money for that. But yeah, huge waste of... It's very expensive. Losing such a huge amount of private land over the years. You're not missing anything. Guy who goes multiple times. I don't go multiple times. I said I've been there. Okay. One of them was for a school field trip, okay? Legoland it is. I bet Legoland is probably better than Disney. I have not been to Legoland. I have to go watch otters now. Understandable. That's where I would go. Losing such a large amount of private land for over a few years could have far-reaching consequences. Insurance companies have already started to pull out of coastal markets or are raising premiums substantially. Banks and other financial institutions are starting to look whether it makes sense to lend to homeowners and businesses along the coastline. All told, the places that are currently livable will become increasingly hard to live. Here's what it means for local governments. Climate Central found that, unsurprisingly, the effects of sea level rise aren't evenly distributed across the U.S. The Atlantic and Gulf Coast will feel its effects more than other parts of the country. In many areas along the coast, sea levels will rise significantly faster because land is sinking as sea level rises. Jesus. So it's a double whammy. By 2050, the Climate Central estimates about 75% of Terrebonne Parish, Louisiana, will be underwater. Yeah. In Hudson County, New Jersey, $22.4 billion worth of taxable property will be submerged. In Galveston County, Texas, more than 4,200 buildings that are currently above sea level will be at least partially underwater. Yikes. I imagine the federal government is still subsidizing their insurance, though. I think that's the case with Florida. A source close to the January 6th committee said that the committee has reached an agreement with Kitty Thomas and will be conducting an interview in the coming weeks. We'll see what comes up with that. I suspect that she's going to not say a lot, plead the fifth and whatnot. Climate impacts are not going to happen climate impacts are not going to happen far off into the future, but within the life of the mortgage on your house. Yep. Said Anna Weber, a policy analyst with the Natural Resource Defense Council. Florida's in the middle of entering a new phase. Home insurance companies are all leaving. Yep. While sea level rise is one of the major impacts of the climate crisis, it's not the only one. Supercharged hurricanes and wildfires also cause displacement and will contribute to the erosion of local tax base as people move to safer areas. More frequent, intense rainstorms are expected to cause more inland flooding in many parts of the U.S. Coastal counties. Coastal counties won't be the only places affected. These numbers are relatively conservative, by the way. What? Said Jesse Keenan, a professor of sustainable architecture at Tulane University who is not involved with the Climate Central study. That's what scares people. That's what should scare people. These are conservative estimates, folks. These are on the low end of the spectrum. These are on the low end of the estimates. It could be a lot worse. And the fact that these are like the more conservative statements should tell you this is a problem. This is a problem. Unfortunately, continuing on the path that we're on only ensures that this and worse continues to happen. All within our lifetime. All that's happened. All of it, in which case it's happening now. You can see all across the world, all across the United States. I mean, what are we going to do when we cannot grow food in the way that we're in the way that we're used to. What are we going to do when we run out of water? It's a toss-up. I imagine she'd go in ready to stall on them, but she has also drank the Kool-Aid, so you never know. True. All the people in Florida that have mortgage and are required to carry insurance, if they can't find any and must sell, it's going to turn into a huge housing glut that nobody's buying. Yeah, which cascades into another big other problems. Yeah, that's what looks like what's going to drive people out of the state before it floods out of existence. Yep. Yep. Europe will manage America. I'm kind of thinking Mad Max after the country balkanized and a couple of nuclear plants melted down thanks to the lack of water for cooling. Maybe. Should we continue to act in this manner? Certainly. We're all but ensuring the more catastrophic we're all but ensuring the more catastrophic outcomes. Time to get in shape. Nah, I'm good. Witness me. I think it's fairly obvious when they have to shut down as the water runs out. That's... Ooh! That's going to be... those are going to be some good memes. We've all seen the pictures of, like, Lake Mead. Lake Mead, and what was the other one? What was the other one that is, like, basically a reservoir for, like, tens of millions of people? I want to say is it the Colorado River? No. What's the other lake? Yeah, Lake Mead, but isn't there another one? I feel like there is. I don't know. Yeah, like we've seen pictures of Lake Mead and Lake Powell. There we go. Okay, that I knew there was another one. Okay, that's the one I'm thinking about. I mean, we've all seen the pictures, right? Like, yes, Echo Resto Dragon. That's right. That's right, Mayhem Hippie. Dustin, Lake Powell. Yes. We've all seen pictures of that. It doesn't look good. The fact that some people are going to start having trouble getting insurance and others aren't is one thing that concerns me because it's another instance of exogenous shock that increases the divide between the haves and have-nots, which seems like the kind of situation you want to be in if you plan on going an eco-fascist route, where there's an increasing small number of people who have the political and economic power to roll with the climate punches. Yeah, certainly is something of concern. Yes. 100%. Yep. Only a few of us are going to survive the nuclear fallout if Putin has his way. Better than the alternative. There are already regions that get flooded every year, and people are government insured. These idiots rebuild their houses every year on taxpayer dime. Well, and it's going to keep happening. And if we don't change course to address the climate crisis, that's just kind of going to be par for the course. All right, folks. I unfortunately have to get going. We got through all the articles. And we made perfect time. Just under 7:30. Folks, have a good one. You have a good one. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to hit the follow button. It really does help us out. Join us Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Spread the word far and wide that this is the show space to be for the news, for the politics. Join us on Sundays around noon Eastern Time for Sunday Fun Days with the co-host. And of course, you always get a sneak peek at the kitty cats later. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Mayhem Hippie. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the biddies. Thank you for the subs. You guys are what makes this channel grow. I appreciate it. Spread the word far and wide. Make sure you have a good one. Thank you so much, Dustin. I really appreciate that. If you have a moment, head on over to the YouTubes. Hit that big red subscribe button. It really does help us out. And if you want to keep up with the channel, head on over and join the Discord. As always, folks, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love you all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. See ya. All right, hang tight, folks. All right, folks. We're getting ready to head out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See ya.